Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Wedding Ceremony Podcast. We talk about anything and everything that has to do with wedding ceremonies. My name is Clint Hufton. With me is a gentleman that had an enlightening experience just a few days ago, the one and only JP Reynolds.
Hey there, Clint. Literally so good to be able to see you.
Oh, we'll talk about that. Oh, that's a good way to tease this. All right. If you're joining us for the first time, you should know the reason we call it the Wedding Ceremony Podcast is because that's what we talk about, because JP and I are both wedding officiants, and we've been doing it for a long time. And those of you who are in the industry know that the reason we never run out of things to talk about is because every wedding is its own thing. You should know that JP is an accomplished author about wedding ceremonies. He'll teach you how to do them, how to prepare for them. His books are in the Amazon store and in the Kindle store in Amazon. Plus, he is a communications expert. Thebusinessofconfidence.com is that website. His wedding website is jprweddings.com. My site is simply my name, Clint Huff, CLINTHUFFT.com, for all of the things that I do. Shout out to the incredible musicians that play the theme music on the audio side of the podcast, the Da Capo Players, DACAPO Players.com. JP, you just had an enlightening experience. Please fill us in.
I did, Clint. It was not directly related to the world of weddings. In some respects, it's applicable to the world of weddings. So this past Friday at 12:30, I even know the time, at 12:30, I lost internet and cable TV. I will say I'm with Spectrum for both of those services. I like to pride myself as being somebody who is not glued to the phone, that I'm not sitting watching hundreds of hours of TV, but technology is a part of life. And especially in terms of nowadays, very seldom do people call me. Remember in the old days, a couple would call and they say, "Hi, I'm looking for an officiant." And now it's all, I never hear a person's voice until they eventually end up on Zoom with me or whatever. I suddenly feel like I'm swept back into the 1950s. There's just nothing here. Adding to the issue is my phone provider. I'm in kind of a weird area for my phone provider. So there are times when I don't even have service in my apartment unit. And I have to go out of my apartment, like into the lobby to get service. So it's a pathetic story. The upshot of it all is I ended up being without cable and internet from noon on Friday until noon yesterday, Monday. Very interesting experience to have that technology ripped away from you. And then the technician who arrived yesterday, he's who I really want to talk about, this fellow Brandon. I don't think I have ever had a repair service person who was as calm and centered and collected. It was zen. I'm 6'2". This guy had to be probably 6'4", athletic build, soft-spoken. And he said to me, that we always do that opening line, but how you doing? I said, aside from the fact that I'm on the verge of a total and complete nervous breakdown, and then I'm looking at you like you are a medvac person here to give me drugs, I said, I'm doing fine. We'll take care of you. It's just that we'll take care of you. And the thing is, he did take care of me. He did take care of me because I was there. You have to understand, in my family, this is so genetic. In my family, whenever there was a crisis, the plan of action was, well, let's just abandon everything and start life over again somewhere else. So for me, it's like, well, maybe I'll just abandon the unit. I'll abandon, even though this is, I live in a condo. It's like, all right, I'll just get a bag, get my laptop. I'll abandon it. I'll look for another place. The whole attitude is there's no chance of repair. There's no chance of healing. It's done. All right. And this guy was the most quiet repair person I have ever had. Like if you came to my apartment, you would not even know the man was in this apartment. He was so quiet. And all of this is by way of saying, how often do we encounter couples who are on the verge of a nervous breakdown?
Yep. Yeah.
And this is my new motto, we need to be Brandon.
We need to be Brandon.
He is my new hero. He should be speaking at WIPA. And I said to him at the very end, I said, I just got to tell you, you're like a Zen master. And he just broke out into this very sly smile. I said, thank you. It was like, oh, in love.
In regards to weddings, you're absolutely right. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but I think it's really important. And that's why when you told me the story before we started recording of Brandon and the impression that you got from him, the vibe that you got from him, it hit me like a ton of bricks because I have gotten feedback that I seem to calm people down. I honestly don't really understand exactly how that works, but that's the kind of feedback that I get repeatedly in the reviews and that sort of thing. And here you encountered a gentleman who knows what he's been through in his career as a spectrum repair person. You
Well,
can
here's
just
what,
imagine the maelstrom that he walks into on a regular basis. And now he's got this center, this calm. Who knows how he came to him, whether it was nature or nurture, but how effective it was in regard to kind of making everything just settle down, even though obviously when you open the door, there had to be some level of agitation because you went a whole weekend without the service that you've been paying for. Well, I think about that. And I think about when I walk into a wedding scenario and, we get there early and we want to find the couple that's getting married and we want to just kind of check in with them and see how they're doing. And then we go about our business and make sure everything is all where it's supposed to be. On more than one occasion, I have witnessed personally somebody in the wedding party or somebody outside of the couple who is an agitator. They draw power from making things more intense than they need to be. Whatever the smallest thing is, it's kind of like, well, you know what that means. I have to admit, it gets under my skin a little bit. On more than one occasion, I have said, I'm not proud of this. On more than one occasion, I've gotten my feathers just a little ruffled, and I've had to look at somebody with my kids call it, the dad look. No, that's not how it works. And then take my attention completely away from that person. But I have to stop that energy. No, that's not how it works. I realize that I'm in a pretty good position because obviously I'm the officiant and they may attach certain aspects to the title of clergy. So I use that to my advantage to just kind of stop the noise and get back focused on the person who is the most important person in that moment. People are saying things, maybe sometimes it's an aside. I remember I did a wedding. It was at this really nice place. One of the bridesmaids was a successful actress and she paid for everything. She paid for everything. And it was just all top notch all the way across the board. Well, okay, so they're in a boardroom before the ceremony. It was at this really nice country club. And I walk in and I'm doing everything that I normally do, including the marriage license. It was a public license, so they needed witnesses. So what I normally say, my usual kind of patter in regards to the witnesses, if you make a mistake, don't change it. Don't cross it out. Don't write over the top of it. That will invalidate the document. I don't go into that detail. I just say, don't do any of that. Just leave it. It's okay. If you make a mistake, just leave it. Well, right then, that actress was walking by me and said very pointedly, no pressure. And I thought, oh my gosh, you can be quiet right now. That wasn't necessary because saying that, I could feel the vibe of the woman who's going to be, it was one of the bridesmaids who's going to be the witness. I can feel her anxiety go up. And that didn't need to be said. I don't know what she was thinking, but I had to immediately say, actually, she's right in order to calm the person down. There's no pressure. Don't worry about it. If you make a mistake, but just, take your time. I'm in no hurry. I always say that. I'm in no hurry. But this happens on the regular. Oh my gosh. Right. And for us to be able to bring some Brandon into the situation, I think it's mandatory.
And let me say, given what I do, given what you do, but it was my internet that was lost given yesterday. Let me say, to be on the receiving end of it was such a unexpected, welcomed experience to just know, okay, even if I have to abandon my home, this man will probably help me move my stuff to the car. So to experience, because to actually experience it allowed me to appreciate more just how important it is, how crucial it is in a time of, oh my God, it's all falling apart. Everything is up in the head. Now, I do like the story about the bridesmaid, friend, whoever, and the wow, no pressure comment. This is where my twisted New York Irish humor comes into play. I have had similar circumstances, and I have had people say in that moment, oh, no pressure. And my response always has been, oh, no, actually, there is a lot of pressure.
Oh, that's nice. How does that go?
I say, I now just heighten it. I just heighten it all the way to the nth degree. And I say, oh, yeah, no. This is, trust me, we're in a life or death moment right now. And my suggestion is, all right, yeah, Oh yeah, I just blow it up. I blow it up.
I just imagine every single person in the room immediately they all turn with concerned looks on their faces, like JP says this is life or death, and all you're doing is something like where are the rings?
Right. But I do it with, the smile and the laughter and I will say, because of, and I hope, oh God, I hope I'm not jinxing myself for the next wedding, because of past experiences where a mistake was made. And then that meant that the license was mailed in, but it wasn't accepted. And then it had to be, a new form, a correction form had to be sent to the couple and then sent to me. And it's just the drama of it all. I am very focused, forceful, and no nonsense when it comes to the signing of the license. And I take people away from the crowd. People do tell me that I scared them. Most people before they sign say, I'm really nervous. And I say, good. Oh yeah, no, it's like snap out of it. You're gonna get your drink after you sign the license. Okay. It's like, let's forget about the love and the joy. Let's forget about everything. It's like when you have two copies of the license, customer copy, some counties will have a customer copy, and then the real license. I always begin with the customer copy
Of course.
because it's like you can write in crayon, I don't care. And then it's the practice, and then you move on to the next one. But yeah.
Isn't this interesting to let us behind the curtain to see how JP handles a
And
certain
Clint,
stressful
and
situation?
Clint.
Oh my gosh. For those of you that are curious about this, if there is a mistake on the license, it's not really that big of a deal. You pay an extra $25, you get an addendum. It's no big deal. The thing is, though, is that it takes longer for the couple to get their certified copies of their marriage license, which is what they need if they prove to people that they were married, that they're legally married. So it just extends all of that. It's really not that big of a deal.
Okay, you are so sweet. Okay, let me go on record for eternity to say you are so sweet. The problem is, or the challenge is, or the issue is, couples get this letter from the county and they panic. Oh my God, we're not married. Oh my God, JP screwed up. Then, depending upon the personality and the state of mind that the person is in, oftentimes it'll be the groom, and it's like, hey, it can potentially add a layer of post-wedding drama that I now mightily strive to avoid.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Again, those of you who are watching and listening, in the state of California, a license has a 90-day life. From the day you buy it, you got 90 days to return it. And they have an automatic thing by computer that just generates this letter that says you haven't turned in your license yet, blah, blah, blah. And so when an unknowing, unexperienced couple get this letter from the county clerk recorders, it's on their letterhead that says you may not be legally married because we haven't received the license. Immediately they start freaking out, which is why I tell the couples, don't do the 90-day thing. Don't look at your calendar on your wedding day and then count backwards 90 days and circle that day and say that's when we're going to go get the license because that's the beginning of the 90 days. What I say is about a month before your wedding day, assuming they want to have it signed on the wedding day, a month before your wedding, a month before, so you have room on the other side. The wonderful side benefit of that they don't need to know is that you're not going to get that letter. Yeah, it's funny how we've been doing this so long. We all have these little iterations of how we make, say, this one little thing or do this one little thing that just kind of keeps things smoother, that a rookie doesn't have any idea. And consequently, they're going to go through all of the baloney that we went through at the beginning of our careers, I guess. But I love this nuance. I love the nuance of all of this kind of stuff of what do I say to calm things down? What do I say to bring focus? What do I say? How can I channel my inner Brandon so that, getting back to Brandon, I've heard this before, that if there's some kind of agitative situation, did I say that right? Agitative?
Yeah.
Is that the way to describe that?
I like it. It works for me.
Isn't that what's in a washing machine, the agitator? Anyway, what I like about that is they'll say, don't feed it. And that's what I imagined that was happening with Brandon, and that he was just the calm. And you can throw anything you want to into the pond, but it's going to keep saying calm. That's what I think is great that we should bring. I say we should bring as officiants into the world of the wedding day and the wedding ceremony is that sense of, I don't care where the agitation is coming from. It's going to go into a vacuum, an empty void where I sit with my Zen, so to speak.
Right.
That's a good talent.
I will quickly add there, just the flip side of it is when I reached out, phones customer service to schedule an appointment, I got a woman who turns out she was like an operator who was an agent who was in Kentucky, friendly. And I'm now panicked. I have no internet, I have no cable, and she's just friendly. And it's just so grating when you have a friendly person and your life is all, So she said, how may I help you? And I said, and I do this all the time. I said, I want to begin by saying, I know the problem I'm going to put before you was not caused by you.
Oh, that means the world. That's so good.
I said, I know that you did not cause this problem. I know that my problem is not your problem. I need you to know that I am having a total breakdown and my life is in your hands.
We were sailing along there for a second, and then the waters got a little
And
rough.
she said to me, honey, I'm here for you. What can I do? What can I do? And I lay it out.
I'm
She
having a
says,
breakdown. My life is in your hands.
oh, yeah. And she says to me, well, first of all, let's see if we can get you some money back. She says, you're not going to have internet, today or tomorrow. She says, I'm going to give you. I said, thank you. And then she says, now this is what I'm going to do for you. And at the end, I said, we have never met in person. Please know if this weekend I win the lottery, I will remember you.
I like that. The non-committal committal. I like
Right.
that.
Exactly. Exactly. But that's the other flip side to it is I'm not going to pretend that I'm like this, all of these emotions, but to actually just lay it out and to say, I want you to know that I know you're a person and this isn't on you and I am at your mercy. 9 times out of 10, it creates a connection. People bond. People do what they're supposed to do in helping. And sometimes I think they go even above and beyond.
Oh my gosh, yeah. To take all the pressure, because we talked about this before I hit the record button. We have no idea what these people have been through before they got to you. Thank goodness, you're the ray of sunshine in their day, quite honestly, because of all the people that just get all agitated and scream and blah blah blah. Whether you're answering the phone or you're walking into somebody's house, what they've been through. I cut celebrities a lot of slack because we live in Los Angeles and we have no idea what they've been through because people are crazy. When I tell people that there's two kinds of marriage licenses in California, one's a public and one's a confidential, and most of the people that have any kind of notoriety will get a confidential because quite honestly, people are crazy and the more security they give themselves. And so with that in mind, for somebody like us who is going to be able to walk in and treat people with dignity, respect, and give them assurance that it's going to be okay, no matter who's telling them the opposite of that. Gosh, I just want to slap those people sometimes, but of course I don't.
Because you're not a New Yorker.
Oh my gosh, that should be mandatory training. Oh, you know what? I should ask you this. You've written a book on how to officiate a non-denominational wedding ceremony. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, that is in the Amazon store and in the Kindle store in Amazon. Have you ever coached somebody on this aspect of being an officiant, of being the calm person in the maelstrom, of being the logical, reasonable one in the middle of all of this emotional stuff?
I had conversations in this realm, but the person who was either the friend or a relative would say to me, my concern is the bride's father is an alcoholic and we're concerned.
Oh, yeah.
What's going to happen? Or the groom hasn't spoken to his mother in 3 years. She's agreed to come. I am worried. When people come to me, we don't speak in general terms, so it's really not about the upset guest per se, because that is really not the focus of the guest officiant, but it's the more intimate when they are aware of dynamics taking place within family or the wedding party itself. How do you handle it? So, yeah.
So what advice did you give?
Well, I mean, it depends. It varies from situation to situation.
True. Yeah.
So there's no general advice that I give. It's all very tailored.
The first thing that popped into my head is the ceremony is the ceremony. It's one little sliver of time, and we're there to accomplish a specific thing. And hopefully everyone is going to feel happy and protected and safe with you as their officiant. None of that other stuff, all the other dynamics that are outside of this particular moment, we can set those aside and let's get from A to Z, get them through this thing, hopefully with joy and whatever, maybe a couple of tears. All that other stuff is afterwards. Focus on this moment and see what you can bring to them. That's the only thing I can think of. There are times where I will say there's the wedding day and then there's the next day. And whatever is the next day, if it's impacting the wedding day, then it's relevant. But if it's not, then it's irrelevant. And let's just have this moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right, Brandon.
I really want to meet this guy. I think it sounds like it would be a
My
nice
new
time.
hero. He's my new hero. He's my new hero.
Oh
That's
wait,
all.
I should preface this by saying I don't want to meet him professionally. I don't want my internet to go out so that I have to call Brandon. I don't want that. But if Brandon is having lunch, eating a sandwich at the same time and having a conversation, I think that would be lovely. All right, JP, tell everybody how they get in touch with you.
Simple. Everything is on my website, jprweddings.com.
Excellent. Remember that he is an accomplished author. We've referenced that numbers of times. All of his books are in the Amazon store and in the Kindle store in Amazon. Plus, the communications coaching, thebusinessofconfidence.com is that website. My website is simply my name, Clint Huff, CLINTHUFFT.com for all of the things that I do. Once again, thank you to the Da Capo players, the incredible musicians that play our theme music on the audio side, DACAPO players.com. That's it for this episode of the Wedding Ceremony Podcast. This is Clint, and on behalf of JP, we will see you next time.